major, out, or I guess they call it off Broadway. It's off Broadway if it's not in New York. A stage called Salt City Stage or Salt City Playhouse. 2 years we were there. We did a number of different things in and around central New York for years. And it was a lot of fun. And I remember the first time there was a little kid that just wasn't me. I mean, many of the other sports wheelmasters asked for our autographs. I thought, well, isn't this cute? But then after I did it, I thought, well, why would this kid ask for my signature, basically? That's what an autograph is, just a signature. And me being his age at the time, and I can realize that, he was probably looking at all the tricks and stunts and dance moves we were doing on roller skates were not easy, and he was probably awed by them. I every once in a while I get to see a clip of the things that we used to do. Thank goodness for Facebook. I see clips and pictures every once in a while on Facebook of the things that we used to do, and I got to tell you, I'm amazed that we didn't kill ourselves with some of the stunts that we did on roller skates. And I wasn't the craziest one on 8 wheels. There were people in the troupe that were probably a lot more nuts than I was. But again, I can't believe that we didn't hurt ourselves. Even because today I look at some of these extreme players like the BMXers and the skateboarders and the snowboarders, and I ask myself, how do you practice something like that? And today, by reminiscing about the Wheelmasters, I realize exactly how you practice those types of steps very carefully, and you just do them. You just one day, you think that you're good enough to accomplish that particular stunt or feat, and you attempt it, and you do it. There is no room for error when you try some of these things. There is no practice, if you will. Yeah, you're practicing, but there really isn't practice, because practice allows for mistakes. You make a mistake, you can severely and seriously injure yourself. It's not a practice at that particular moment. You do it or you don't. And every time you practice, you keep doing it or you don't. Practice is taking the ball and basketball and dribbling and just practicing bouncing back and forth, to get your eye-hand coordination going and get the feel of the ball. That's practice. When you're doing a flip on roller skates over somebody else's back and you're flipping in the middle of the air over their back and you're going to land on your feet so you don't fall and land on your face, well, you got one shot. You can't miss it. There is no practice. So you better have the confidence and understanding of how it all works so that when you go to do it, you do it right that very first time, or you're going to severely injure yourself. And some of these, you do a cartwheel. Now think of doing cartwheels for a second. Now I'm going to bring all this home, folks, so just pay attention and follow me on this. You have somebody who's leaning on their knees. They're standing up. And they're hunched over, with their arms braced on their knees. You're rolling up behind them at least 10 to 15 miles an hour on your roller skates. They're on roller skates. So now they're probably about a good 4 inches taller than they would normally be. So are you. So you're rolling up on them, doing about, you're doing a good clip, but 10 miles, 15 miles per hour, and you're not going slow. The move, as you come up to them, there is a point of no return. So you're going to do a flip over them, but this is how you do it. As you approach, the first thing you do is you position your body as if you're going to do a handstand flip, but instead of the ground, they're elevated back. Is your flip point. Now understand, because you're elevated as tall as this person is, hunched over, you can over-rotate very easily and literally land on your face on hard pavement. So think of somebody who kind of they do a flip in a pool. They springboard, they pull on a pool, and they do a flip. They rotate, and they over-rotate, and they do a belly flop. Or they under-rotate, and they land on, they do a back flop. That hurts. Well, you can't do that on pavement when you're going 10 or 15 miles per hour on a pair of roller skates. You can't miss the landing. And you have to land in such a way where you continue to roller skate after you land. So when you do it, you got to have the confidence that you know that what you're doing. Now, I can look at that little kid who saw us doing that kind of stuff, and he was looking in amazement. And I can think, well, why do we ask for people's autographs? Because when I was his age, I didn't ask for anybody's autograph. I have never asked for anybody's autograph because I could never see the value in having somebody's signature in my hand, a piece of paper, what have you. I just didn't get it. At that moment, I kind of understood because it's a reminder of something that this person can do that leaves you in awe, that because you can't yet do that. So when you have these sports stars who are out there that are very good at the game that they're particularly good at and playing, for instance, Tom Brady, other people are in absolute awe at how somebody can be that good. Do you understand what I'm saying? It reflects, when you ask for their autograph, it reflects your belief in your point of view about how good that person is. And every time you see that autograph, it reminds you of, one of your favorite plays that they pulled off. Reminds you, it may give you some inspiration if you're a young kid. Maybe it gives you inspiration to try to practice and be as good as your idol someday in that particular sport. It gives you some hope. Now, I still don't ask for autographs to this day, but that makes me a little bit different. But it gives you some hope. I can see where it gives people hope because they can dream of, oh, man, I remember that play, and I got that game that I got this autograph from him. Oh, man, that was so awesome. He can have another game like that. Or if you're young enough, man, I remember watching him play. And he was my hero, my idol in football, and I wanted to be just as good as him. So I practice and practice and practice and practice. Now, I'm sure that Tom Brady, I don't know who his idols were, but I'm sure Tom Brady had idols, football idols when he was younger. And maybe he even had autographs of some of them. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the man's personal life. It's none of my business, really. I just watch him play on the field. That's it. The gridiron. So we also have our politicians who kind of infiltrate our entertainment and our heroes by introducing to them certain types of political correctness, if you will, as a test run. Will the American people accept this type of political correctness, or will they accept this type of political correctness? Can we make this a mantra? And then they try to foist it on the rest of us through our entertainment and our sports. Now, if you don't think that entertainment, especially movies and TV programs, cannot be used as models and pushes towards political agendas, you better watch them again. And time and time again, you're going to see things like certain agendas, like global warming agenda. I don't know how many movies we've had about global warming, and if we don't do something, humanity's gonna die, right? Ben Affleck, what was it? The day after, was that one of his bad movies? He's had multiple, I know, but one of his bad movies. And a number of others, not starring Ben Affleck, but there have been a number of other movies that are based on global warming or some sort of man-made calamity because we're not paying attention today. And we get things like, you get things that that you think start a conversation. However, the conversations are already been going on. Remember in football, we had this domestic violence and domestic abuse type of thing going on last year when an NFL player was spotted knocking out his fiance in an elevator. And we're supposed to think that we're supposed to have a conversation about this because now, this is the pinnacle of bad now. This is so terrible. And people sort of followed along. And now we're getting this whole idea of Deflategate and cheating, and how bad cheating possibly is or can be or should be and should be thought of. And all of a sudden, now that's even worse than domestic abuse. Because the punishment meted out for this so-called Deflategate cheating scandal is greater than any player has gotten for alleged or viewed domestic abuse. I guess cheating is now the politically correct thing to not tolerate. Now, remember, we also had some other things. The Redskins, remember that, football? There was, even Obama was, the president of the United States was putting pressure on the Washington Redskins to change their name from Redskins. And the owner of the Redskins was not budging. Even the NFL was kind of making it, maybe you should think about changing it. But he was not, the owner of the team was not budging. And now today, and this is from NBC News Washington, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is changing her tune in an effort to bring the Redskins back to Washington. Now, last year, as a D.C. council member, Bowser signed a council resolution calling for the team to change its name, which many consider a racial slur. Now, in the past, she had said a name change should be part of any talks about bringing the team back to D.C., but the mayor, recently started using the name in TV and radio interviews. She says, "We know the perfect location for the Redskins is where they played for decades." So now it's about this guy is bucking the political correctness trend, and he's holding his own. And now liberals are coming around and saying, well, look, when push comes to shove and you push back on liberals, sometimes they'll capitulate when money's involved. When they think they can get more money out of you, they're going to, hell, if they can't tax you, they can't control you if you're not in their jurisdiction, correct? So now they're thinking, well, football's a major game, has a lot of potential revenue for the district, and taxes and fees and things like that. So maybe we should lighten up a little bit on this, compromise. Although Democrats don't often compromise, but they're thinking maybe we should compromise this time. Give them a chance to do things the right way on their own, and let's see if they do it. Well, I'm not buying this whole notion, but and it doesn't look like that the owner of the team is going to buy it either. But we'll see. Maybe they'll give him enough incentive to move the team to Washington. But we have this whole idea of politics getting involved in our sports for various legitimate, in their mind, reasons. So we have this cheat gate or Deflategate that's going on in football. And so now they're going to met out a 4-game suspension for arguably the league's biggest recognized star right now. I don't care, whether you like the Patriots and Tom Brady or you despise the Patriots and Tom Brady. He is the draw. And, many teams have a big name star that draws the crowd because everybody wants to see them perform and do amazing things and create some sort of amazing memory for them. That's Tom Brady. He's done it over and over and over again. For nearly 20 seasons. I don't know how long this guy's been playing. He's like 38, 39 years old this year. I'm telling you, it's well, I'll continue when we get back. Hold on, folks.